Hey trainers, welcome back to Pokemon Deck Check. I would be Pokedad.
I'm the dancing bear at first base.
And today on Pokemon Deck Check, we've got 37 decks. Is that what you said?
It was either 37 or 36.
Ton of decks. Gonna do the meta forecast for Unbroken Bonds. Having played and tested easily over 200 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easily. So, I feel like we have a pretty good handle on what's solid, what has an outside chance, what's going to be popular, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have a really good handle. And if for some reason you're doubting our opinion on this, then we encourage you to go back and look at all the evidence, meaning look back at our other meta forecast videos, right?
Yeah.
So, not to toot the old horn, but I think we do know what we're talking about here. What do you think, Dancing Bear?
I keep trying to count how many decks there are, and you keep getting me off topic.
Well, quit worrying about that because straight away, because it never fails, I get comments, well, you forgot this deck, you forgot this deck. Well, we're doing our best here, okay? We can't possibly form, like Zoroark variants, there's 20 different Zoroark variants, right? So we're going to cover the most competitive and what we have covered. But we also have some Zoroark ideas in mind that we haven't covered. So enough Poke Dad rambling, right? Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going to be the most popular / best deck in format?
There's 36 decks.
Okay. So which one of these 36, but there's a few others that we haven't, that we don't have on here. I think it's, yeah.
Let me just grab this real quick.
There's, without a doubt, Charizard, Reshiram, Tag Team GX variants are going to be by far the most popular.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, against these other decks, it has the most solid matchups. Would you agree or disagree with that assessment?
I agree with that.
Now, it obviously does have a couple decks come to my mind that really put a hurting on it. But those two decks don't have strong enough matchups across the field, right?
Right, unless you just want a really hard counter.
And that's what we'll talk to about the towards the end on what we think the play is and what you would play, what I would play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, without a doubt, Reshiram Charizard, most popular, most played, going into the Santa Clara. Santa Clara Regional is going to be the first major tournament that these cards are legal. It's going to be by far and away most day twos, most played, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's insane.
Yeah, and we said the same thing 3 months ago about Zekrom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was like 25 in day two. So, I mean, I think it's without a doubt, right?
For sure.
So, what's going to be the second most popular? And you can kind of base this on Japanese tournaments plus our own testing. I think Zekrom Pikachu will be the second most played deck. Agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay, now, how do you like this versus Charizard?
I think Charizard can get the easy one-shots.
I think Charizard absolutely just wrecks it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any doubt, any question, right?
No.
Now, I want to talk about, there's always a triangle, right?
Yeah.
There's always a triangle. And I think there's two options of what could be that third spot of the triangle, right?
Right.
So what do you have in mind and then I'll kind of tell you what I have in mind based on what you pick.
Looking around, I think I see two options. Either the Blacephalon or the Gardevoir.
See, I disagree with the Blacephalon because I think people are going to gravitate more towards Reshiram Charizard. I think Blacephalon is more safe,
Okay.
but I think it has worse matchups on some of the other stuff than the Reshiram Charizard. So, if that makes any sort of sense whatsoever. My problem with Sylveon is it absolutely gets annihilated
Mm-hmm.
by Reshiram Charizard.
Yeah.
If it just had 10 more HP, then I actually think Gardevoir Sylveon could beat that. But with 260, you're hitting for 230, choice band. That's too much pressure. And when you ace a roll, even if you hit it without, and they have to ace roll it, that's 3 energies or however many energies off the table.
Yeah.
So, and there's never a threat of one-shotting you.
Okay.
Ever. So, I think the triangle could be, and I think there's a gap between these two and then what I'm going to throw out here as third.
I agree.
But grab the Zapdos over there. I'm going to tell you why. I think Zapdos variants, depending on if they play the Moo, the Miltank, the healing, I think Zapdos can kind of go toe-to-toe with Charizard.
Yeah, you can make a good prize exchange with two Zapdos.
Yeah, you're 2-hitting it. Let's assume there's no healing in Charizard, okay? And most people don't play the 2 Volcanion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if this plays 2 Volcanion, then you can forget about it. But if they only play 1 or 0, then I like Zapdos to beat it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's dependent on you either go healing or you go 2 baby Volcanion. And most lists don't even run 1.
I like the 1. I think it puts in
No,
a lot of work.
I like 2 because you clean up this matchup. I don't care for the healing. I don't care for the Miltank. I would rather have 2 baby Volcanions. That cleans up this matchup. And it also cleans up the Hitmonchan matchup.
Yeah.
So, 2 Volcanions, 2 babies in this automatically helps you in these other matchups, right?
Right.
Okay, so now that we have Hitmonchan out here, how do you feel about it being tier 2?
I do think it's a strong deck.
I think it's so off everybody's radar.
I don't know how many people are going to play it.
Yeah, that's the problem. So it might go into Rogue.
I don't think it's... I think Rogue is...
See, I think it's hard. Here's the problem.
I think it would go into tier 3.
And here's where people always go off on us in the comments. If we were to say, okay, yeah, this is Rogue, then immediately people are going to say, oh, it's better than Rogue.
I think it's better than Rogue. I think it's tier 3.
I think it's better than tier 3. Look at the results in our tournaments. But if you base it on popularity, then it's either Rogue or tier 3. That's the catch. You have to balance popularity versus strength. Okay? That's what you have to balance. It's super strong, but its popularity's down here.
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere in the middle is where it's placed.
Right there.
Okay.
I think that's what tier 3 is. Tier 3 is, it's super strong, just not very many people are going to play it.
Yeah. And that's so. Don't blast us in the comments. We just explained the tier system, okay? Because honestly, in Pokemon, the tier system is defined by popularity of the deck. So, how many you think you will see each major tournament?
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, you're going to see maybe 4 or 5 rounds, maybe 6 rounds of Charizard, probably 3, maybe 4 of Zekrom, then probably 2 to 4 of Zapdos, if that makes sense. So, what else can compete? Are there any more tier ones?
I think that gives us our triangle for tier 1.
I do too. I think an immediate tier 2 is a deck you already talked about.
Oh.
Yeah, Blacephalon. I
Yeah.
think that's immediate tier 2.
Okay.
I think it's strong. I think it gains popularity with Welder. Will it be as popular as Charizard? Absolutely not. But that's nothing against the strength of the deck, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, it's still super ultra consistent, right?
Mm-hmm. And the welders really make it.
And the Welder just speeds it up to where it's a viable turn one knockout if you go second rather than just, I guess I'll just do the GX attack or burn and confuse.
Right. It gives you a lot more versatility.
A lot more firepower. Another tier 2 deck. What you got? Balance popularity plus strength.
Buzzwole, Pheromosa.
I hate to say it, but there are going to be those people that try it. And they're going to be disappointed. Weakness policy is not going to save you, is it?
No.
Because the Charizard deck, like ours alone, plays, 1 or 2 field blowers?
Yeah.
So, and Charizard's going to have to, there's room to play. Especially if you take out the healing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of room.
That's a lot of room.
Yeah, there's going to be people that play Buzzwole Pheromosa.
Yeah.
And those people are going to struggle. Because you're going into a field full of Charizard and Blacephalon.
Yeah.
And there could be baby Blacephalon too. Where are you at? Baby Blacephalon, where does that go? Since we're talking about fire decks. Rogue. So you might see one. Yeah. You might see 1 out of 10 rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, we just want to do all the fire decks and got Flareon over there.
I think Flareon is way rogue.
I agree. And then Charizard over here.
Yep, Charizard way over there. The problem with baby Charizard is it's a stage 2 rare candy dependent when I can just charge up the big guy
on turn 1.
Yep. So tier 2, I actually like Granbull for tier 2. I think it's
I agree.
I think it's gaining strength, and I like the matchup against Charizard. This is one of those decks I was saying that I really like the matchup here. And I don't hate the matchup against Zapdos either.
And it's got a good matchup against Blacephalon.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I would say almost auto win this. And then you're going to give, Charizard a beating, I think the matchup's close, but I think Granbull can pull it off in a best of 3.
I agree.
As far as against Zekrom, I think Zekrom could beat it. But it does have the lightning charms.
Yeah.
So, Granbull's strong option against Charizard. I would definitely practice this matchup a lot so you know it perfectly. But I like it against Zapdos. I like it against Zekrom. And I definitely love it against Blacephalon, right?
Yeah, those are some good matchups.
So, other deck I want to talk about is Lycanroc. I think you streamline it Take out Lucario, not needed. Streamline it. Play the Fighting Dojo. And then now you can one-hit KO the Charizard with Fighting Dojo. It's still going to struggle against that matchup, but I like it against Zekrom. I do think it still kind of struggles against Zapdos, right?
Yeah.
I think that matchup is very, very iffy. I would say more 60, 65 to 40, 35, right? So, but I don't think it's a bad play at all. I mean, when is Zoroark ever a bad play? You know?
When it wasn't in format.
It's like the Eviltal, the old school Eviltal decks that, you know, it never really had any awesome matchups, but it never really had any bad matchups.
Yeah.
So, but I think Zoroark without Cario is a solid option.
Yeah.
So what else you got for tier 2?
You think Guardy can go tier 2?
I think Guardy Sylveon.
That's the one.
I think Guardy Sylveon. I like the matchup against Zekrom and Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
Because you have the lightning charms. Didn't we play this matchup against the Zapdos?
Yeah.
And Zapdos put a hurting on it?
Yeah.
If I remember right?
But Guardy still won.
Yeah. So...
Barely, though. 10 damage short.
So that matchup's close. So maybe 50-50?
Yeah.
But you're definitely favorable here. And then you get your teeth kicked in here.
Yeah.
Do you like it here?
Yeah, you can one-shot the Blacephalons. And that's a lot of energy for Blacephalon to try and one-shot it.
Yeah. But you don't have any fire charms to protect.
You can use the GX to send them back to 0 cards in hand.
I think that matchup is pretty close, though.
Yeah.
I think it's close. I think 50-50, 50-50, you lose, and then you win Zekrom. So, not a huge fan of the Guardy Sylveon. It does seem pretty risky. Like, there might be some better options. Like, I would say Granbull's a better option than Sylveon Guardy. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
You would play Granbull over Guardy Sylveon. So let's talk about the other Guardy while we have it out. And this is either streamlined Guardy with like Swampert and stuff like that, or I'm actually a fan of Zoroark Guardy, taking advantage of the triple boost energy as well as DCE, and then play your 4 fairy energy. The numbers look very, very tasty against Charizard. My problem is 230 on a stage 2 or 210 on Zoroark. So you're 2-shotting Charizard, whereas they're 1-shotting everything you have.
True.
So I go back and forth. I like the Zoroark Guardy because if it has 4 energy on it, and then you have triple boost and a fairy, so that's 120. No, that's 120, and then they have 4, so you're at 240. So choice band.
Gets you the numbers.
Yeah. That's just a lot on a stage 2. I don't think we'll see it. And I have not tested it. It's been strictly Poke Dad theory. So Zoroark Guardy or regular Guardy, I don't think is an option, right?
Right.
Okay, so what else you got over there? Any other tier 2s?
I'm trying to look around. I don't know if there's any more tier 2s.
I think there is.
Or that, yeah.
I think people might try that.
Yeah.
Because on paper, it looks like you can easily one-shot that or the Zekrom Pikachu, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reality, folks, is too slow.
Yeah. Trying to set up the Malamars and all.
4 energies, right?
Right.
Because that's what you need, right? Because it does 20 plus, then 80 more. So I only need 3, right?
Yeah, 3.
That's 240, 260. So you'd have to have Choice Band.
Or the Beast Energy.
Or Beast Energy. I think people will try it, though.
They could.
So, any other Tier 2 Lucario Melmetal? You think people will try that?
No.
You think?
They see how much Blacephalon and Charizard is going to be played in
Stunfisk, Spiritomb, Jolteon variants, Venomoth. I think people are going to try the Wheezing. I don't know. I don't think Tier 2. What about Honchkrow? Let's talk about it. What's your thoughts and feelings on that?
I like the deck. I enjoy playing it. But you don't stop too much there.
No, these top 2 decks, I think, are going to run you over.
I think there's just too much in the format that you don't stop.
There's too much basic energy.
Indeed.
And that's bad. You know, if Zoroark was, you know, if we're talking about this, you know, 6 months ago, then this card would be absolutely brutal on everything. You know, before Zekrom, before Zapdos. But I think it goes down to Rogue because you take a loss here, you take a loss here, and you're probably taking a loss to Zapdos too.
And most people aren't going to be playing it.
And that's a shame because the deck is really good. And it is a lot of fun to play. So, let's talk Lucario Melmetal.
I think that goes into Rogue or Tier 3.
I would say Tier 3. My problem with it is all the fire, obviously, right?
Big problem.
Even though you play the metal frying pans and all that, these decks are going to be playing Field Blower, okay? Because, I mean, there's no reason not to play Field Blower. Nice dedicated 1, maybe 2 spots, right?
Yeah.
So, I do think Lucario Melmetal's good. And I absolutely love it as a tech in Zoroark.
Yeah, I think it's really good as a tech.
But as a standalone deck,
not seeing it.
No, I would not recommend taking it into Santa Clara next weekend. So, next.
Greninja Zoroark.
Oh, dear. That's a tough one.
Yeah. It's good.
That's a tough one because we haven't seen it do well at any tournament. However, we haven't seen a list that's even remotely close to how we're playing it.
Yeah.
By remotely, I'm saying like...
They're running Zoroarks and stuff.
I think like... It would be generous to say that they're even 20 cards off our list, right?
Right.
More than likely, they're like 20 to 30 cards off of our list. Our list is just straight up beast. Would you agree or disagree?
It's really good.
It has proven it can absolutely trash Charizard, right? It's proven it can completely wreck Zekrom, right? It has proven it can destroy Blacephalon, right?
Yep, too fast.
It can put a hurt on Zapdos, right?
Yeah.
It's going to lose to Zoroark. And it's going to lose to Sylveon Guardy. And it's probably going to lose to Granbull, right?
And the Hitmonchan.
And Hitmonchan and Dugtrio. So,
it has a lot of good matchups, and it has a couple bad.
that's the thing. I love it against the top 4 decks or top 3, depending, if you want to combine the Zapdos decks or whatever. I love it against the top 3, right?
Yeah.
But I hate it against majority of the tier 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you were going to a tournament, would you expect to see more of the tier 1 or more of all of the tier 2 stuff?
Tier 1.
I would too. I think it's risky, and if you're not playing our list, then I definitely would not recommend you taking it to the tournament.
Yeah.
But if you are playing our list, I don't think it's necessarily a bad call. Will someone do it? Doubt it.
It's possible.
I doubt someone's going to play it, take a chance.
If somebody's going to play Buzzwole Pheromosa, then...
Yeah, I mean, people are going to play it, but I think the better players are just going to be like, oh, let me just play Charizard, or something that counters Charizard.
Rogue 3 go...
So, yeah, 3. Rogue tier 3, but it's better than that. It just, that's popularity, folks. Let's talk about...
Oh.
What you got?
Things on I was going to say the Muck over there.
Muck.
Does it stay over there, or does it go somewhere else?
I happen to think the deck absolutely sucks. And I know it's not out here, but Gengar Omastar, I think we can go ahead and talk about that too.
Oh, we took it apart.
We took it apart, so that's where we think. That's why I say not every single deck's here. But Muck, what you got? You got anything for it?
This is Gengar Omastar.
No.
Well, I mean, same sleeves. That's what we replaced it with.
So Gengar Omastar or Muck, those 2 decks. What you got?
I'm not liking them.
Me neither. So let's put them down here. Rogue.
Good spot.
Yeah. Jolteon variants. Whether it be a heavy line with Zapdos or just more streamlined Jolteon GX. I think the most solid build right now is heavy Zapdos with a 2/2 Jolteon line.
It's strong, just I don't think people are gonna play it.
I think as a standalone Jolteon GX deck, no. But as a 1/1 or a 2/2, 2/1 in Zapdos, absolutely. For sure. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Dugtrio. No one's talking about Dugtrio. Just like the Zoroark Greninja and all, no one's giving it love or Hitmonchan. Are we just not testing this, folks, or what? Because it's super good, right?
Yeah.
Hitmonchan has proven to be better.
With the Gumi and all that.
Yep. So, we have to put it in Rogue, but how do you like the matchups, kind of?
You think it goes Rogue?
Strictly based on popularity.
I was thinking tier 3 because...
Not strength of the deck, but popularity.
I thought tier 3 was the deck's super strong, just nobody's going to play it.
Yeah, that's however you want to do it there, Dance Barum. I got your back.
Okay. I like it in tier 3.
But how do you like the matchups? Obviously
Super
Zekrom. I think Zapdos puts too much pressure on it, right?
Mm-hmm. It's hard to one-shot it too.
And then Charizard.
You can two-shot the Charizards.
Yeah. I think it comes down to, do they play the Volcanion? The baby Volcanion? Because you get a ton of value out of the baby Volcanion, right?
Yeah.
So, I like Hitmonchan's matchup over here better than Dugtrio's, right?
Mm-hmm. Another Jolteon.
Another Jolteon variant, okay. Oh, you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is so... I think this is one of the ones that's so off everybody's radar. And Poke Dad absolutely failed right and left because I had the translation wrong on it.
And he's blaming the translation.
Well, no, I'm blaming myself.
Mm-hmm.
But the translation ultimately led for me to fail. Wheezing. Now, do we have the exact build? Absolutely not. Because I can easily see so many different builds. I can see a Zapdos Wheezing, Wheezing Spell Tag, Tapu Koko Wheezing, you name it, right? There's probably as many Wheezing builds as there are Zoroark builds, okay? That's the reality. And I think if someone spends enough time to do the right build, whether it's Coco, Spell Tag, Zapdos, I think it's going to be absolutely just smashing stuff. I really do. And see, it's not all my fault because the attack does 40, but there's no written stuff in Japanese here at the bottom saying it also does 20 damage to all basics. So Poke Dad kind of pushes a little bit of the blame.
Yeah.
But not to get sidetracked.
So you think it's good?
I think it's really good. I think it's better than just good. I think it's really good. Just how much time are people willing to invest to getting the list right?
There might be a couple, but overall I think they would just rather play a tier 1 deck or tier 2.
And that's a shame. Again, it goes to tier 3 strictly based on popularity, right? Not strength of deck. Okay? Alright. Vikavolt. Chargebug.
I like it. It's good.
It is, but is it on par with just even say these 10 decks?
No.
I don't think so. I think it even struggles to beat Buzzwole.
Yeah, you 10 short. Unless you use an electric power.
I think it's good, but you're playing a stage 2, and I
think it might be rogue.
It's way rogue, but it's a lot of fun to play, you know?
That's why I put a gap. Just put it in front.
Right here?
Yes.
That's where you want it, Dansmere?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I pulled these over.
Alright. Your Snorlax, is it dead or what?
Yeah.
I think so too, folks.
Yeah.
The problem with this is there's no stage 1s or stage 2s being played.
Mm-mm.
Everything is big basic, Charizard, Zekrom, Sylveon, Buzzwole, Blacephalon.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem with the deck.
Mega Rogue.
So, Stunfisk Spiritomb. That's an interesting one. How much time have people spent in testing and playing this? I don't think they've spent a lot. I think it's been off a lot of people's radar. So how good is it?
I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's like the worst. I don't think it's dead like Snorlax and a lot of the other decks that are over there.
Now the deck's going to auto lose against Muck, right?
We're worried about the rogue
No,
Muck?
not that Muck.
Oh.
It auto loses to Muck. You idiot. Not the tag team Muck. It loses to Muck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does Granbull, unless you reverse engineer the Granbull deck, right?
Right.
So...
What all decks are running Muck, though? That.
Zoroark, and that's really it. Maybe a Ditto Muck.
It's possible.
Maybe. But even then, we had to take that out to make room for Welder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't think Blacephalon and Lesage, who's the absolute master of Blacephalon, have you ever seen him play Muck and Blacephalon?
Nah.
No. So I think Zoroark is really the only Muck inclusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I'm seeing on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to worry about that. So Zapdos is going to destroy you, right?
Is it?
It can chase you down easily.
You can chase them down.
And
Quick to electric.
It does perfect for one prize. I think you lose to Zapdos, but how are you right here? Charizard and Zekrom.
I think it's close. I think it's 50-50.
Okay.
And then... the Baby Volcanion.
Yep. Baby Volcanion once again, folks. Just another reason you should be playing 2 Baby Volcanions in your Charizard deck.
Mm-hmm.
To counter this, to help deal with this.
This.
Yep. 2 Volcanions. So, I think it's Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's way
decent.
better than Rogue. I mean, it's not on the same as like Muck and these others, right?
Right.
It's good. It's just popularity wise, no one's gonna pick it up and play it. Same with probably this one, right?
Yeah.
It's good. It performed really well in our tournaments.
Mm-hmm. It's just gonna get smashed by this.
Yeah. Yep. Because as soon as you put 3 damage counters on, you're dead. So, Rogue.
Yeah.
Alright, so Aerodactyl is an interesting one. And we haven't had time to really get into Aerodactyl. You've got the triple accelerated energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer Malamar dependent. Malamar's still nice in the deck, since you only have 4 triple boost energies.
It's just not dependent.
So it does get better, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking, what, 180? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Choice Span to 10, maybe a Shrine Tick to 20.
Maybe 230.
And then you have to find more Fossil or another triple.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think it hits hard enough.
its strength
It takes a lot to set up.
was when this was big, right?
Right.
But it's kind of fallen out of favor ever since this and this.
Mm-hmm.
Zapdos and Zekrom variants. Because Zapdos can just easily chase down the eggs or whatever, the fossils.
Eggs.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I think it goes into Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do like the addition of triple boost energy in the deck, right?
It sounds like a good plan.
But I think it's too risky with Zapdos. Still probably going to be popular, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's talk
Bisharp Shrine.
Bisharp Shrine. A lot of fire in the...
Yeah, Volcanion. Little baby Volcanion's gonna sweep you.
Yep.
And I don't think he can hit hard enough numbers.
No, you absolutely cannot hit hard enough numbers. 120, even with Choice Span and Shrine damage,
It's 160.
is not going to cut it, folks. Right?
Right.
So, extremely rogue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, your personal favorite.
Uh-oh.
Well, we can do the water stuff last. So let's talk about your baby here. Gengar. And that's another option. The Gengar with the Wheezing over there.
Yeah, I can put down a lot of damage counters.
Stage 2. Yeah, the Haunter helps, right? When it gets knocked out, you can search for some Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
I think unless someone invested a ton of time to build the deck,
I don't think it's worth it.
no.
Invest your time somewhere else.
If we dedicated like 3 straight months, then we could probably build an absolutely awesome Gengar list.
Yeah.
Buzzwole. Give me your thoughts on that.
Hey. Oh, no.
Not so much because when it was super popular, no one was playing it. They opted for Zoroark, Lycanroc, Lucario.
Yeah, true.
I think it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Convince me it's not.
No words.
Zapdos resistant.
Mm-hmm.
So Jet Punch for 0 or 10.
They're gonna...
I think Buzzwole is dead, folks.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Same with this next one.
Yep. I just automatically put it there.
You're weak to Fairy. I can definitely see Granbull and Sylveon and Guardy being popular. You're going to struggle against Zapdos too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not seeing it.
No.
I mean, maybe we're not seeing something with Rayquaza, but I don't think so, right?
Nah.
All right.
Rogue.
Venomoth.
I like the deck. It's performed well in our tournaments. And I don't know. I like it. I think it goes tier 3.
I like it too. I would not recommend bringing it against a field of Charizard and Blacephalon and possibly Baby Blaze.
Hey, you can avoid those.
But, I don't hate the other matchups.
Nah. Stay good.
I think I'm not particularly in favor of the Zapdos matchup. Because it can chase down the Venonats or the Zoruas. So I'm not a fan of the Zapdos matchup, right?
I mean, if you get enough basic Pokemon down that they can't just chase them down, then you can set up your Zoroarks and you're running a good amount of Acerolas and the Palpad. You can just cycle them back and you're taking the one-shots and they're not even getting their prize.
I think on paper, it's 60-40 Zoroark Venonat's favor, but I think once you actually sit down, how often are you going to have a perfect setup, with your Zeroas, Ditto, or, I think that's what it comes down to. So I think the matchup then shifts to 60-40. So, and if I'm wanting to play a Zoroark deck, I think I would play Zoroark instead. You're not weak to the fire. It's easier to set up. Well, they're both about the same to set up. But you're not weak to fire. So.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're hitting weakness on Zekrom, which Venonat's not. So. I think if I'm going to play a Zoroark build, I'm going to play Zoroark over Zoromoth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even over Zorocario, I would rather play Zoroark.
Yeah.
We'll get into more Zoroark decks here in a second. Dugong, Parasian, Zoroark. Got the Zoroark, Dugong, Parasian. I'm going to tell you right now, I am a huge non-believer fan in this deck. I don't like it.
Nor do I.
There's too much going on with it. Dugong, I see the point. Oh, we just sniped 2 Zoruas. Well, the problem is how much Zorua is going to be at the tournament.
That and, I mean, they're already going to be evolved into Zoroarks once you can snipe the Zorua.
Yeah, I mean, your hope has to be of going first.
Yeah, and starting with it.
So if you go, yeah, and getting it into the active.
And you got to play a Zoroark deck.
I like the Parisian where you can grab any 2 cards, but if you're Reshiram and Charizard, are you really going to care what 2 cards your opponent's grab? You're just going to keep kicking their teeth in, right?
Yeah, that'd be the plan.
I mean, that'd be equivalent to knocking on the door versus just busting the door down, right? So, I don't like the Dugong. You're not able to even one-shot the Charizard, even with Choice Band, 90, 180.
You're a little short.
Yeah, you one-shot the Blacephalon, but if you can't deal with the obvious, then I don't like it.
Nor do I.
So, Rogue?
Very.
Okay. Let's talk about... Well, real quick, before we talk about the water decks, I want to touch on a Zoroark deck that I think will be tier 2, and that's a Zoroark control deck. And I can see it abusing the triple boost energy with a Rangaroo resource management. Just use resource management to keep putting your triple boost energies in. Counter, similar to the Zoroark Macargo, resource management, control decks, crushing hammers, all that greatness. Counter energy, or counter catchers. What do you think about that?
That sounds pretty good.
I think it sounds super, super spicy. I think a Zoroark control deck could do very, very well in this environment, don't you?
Yeah.
I think it could even abuse like Wondrous Labyrinth and stuff like that. Because even with triple boost, they can still resource management.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we could be in for a super, super kind of hybrid Zoroark, Rangaroo, Macargo control variant that could be absolutely dominating.
Yeah. It's possible.
So, alright, but anywho, let's talk about Kieran.
I'm not too big of a fan.
Got the 110, paralyze him, discard 2, water, so choice band 140, 1 hit KO on Charizard.
Yeah.
You are Quagsire dependent, so you're going to have to play Ditto plus 4 Wooper.
Yep. That's the one.
I think we've proven several times that all you have to do is chase down the Woopers and Quagsires, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's not much the deck can do, right?
Yeah, I think it's a lot to set up.
I think,
especially with the Nagnatals and all that.
It's
hard.
I want the deck to be good, but I mean, how many times do we have to demonstrate in our tournaments or videos or playtesting that Quagsire is not a overall valid option? I understand Ross Cawthon made it work, but come on, he's like the greatest Pokemon player of all time. So, but have you seen anyone else have success with Quagsire builds?
No.
Not really, right? So,
No.
It goes into Rogue.
Yep.
I don't think it's a solid option to counter Charizard. Do you?
Nope.
However, this next deck.
I think it goes into tier 3.
This next deck. Zoroark Gyarados. I absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could easily play a control variant like we saw Schultz play at Harrogate, where it did have crushing hammers, it did have enhanced hammers, it had the 2 resource management Rangaroos. So that kind of Zoroark control variant I was talking about, there's room in this deck for that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care for the enhanced hammer part, but I mean that was at a time when unit energy was super big. I love it.
I like how this is looking.
All right, so let's get into this last bit. So here we have our tier list, okay? So here you need to expect to play against this, 5, 6 times? 7?
A lot.
Between 5 and 7 times rounds at a regional. This maybe
2.
2 to 3?
Mm-hmm.
And then these maybe 1 to 2. And then these maybe 1. Probably beginning round.
0.5.
Beginning of the round. Your first round, you might play against one of these. But after your first round, you're probably going to play against...
As long as you win.
Some of these. Right.
Lose, you might see a couple
Lose,
more.
you might see some more of these. So, fair enough. So let me clear some of this away here. Help me spread them out. Now we're going to talk about what is the play and what is not the play. Okay? So I told you this video is going to be long, but you know what?
Did you tell me that, or did you tell them that?
I told you and them, because I just said it. So, trying to figure out what exactly the smart play, the safe play, the best play, all that greatness, right?
Yeah.
So, what's the one deck?
Oops.
Or maybe this would be the Dancing Bears play. What's the one deck
Take it. Mine.
that you would want to either not lose to, or maybe you would want to play? Okay?
I don't want to lose to Charizard.
I do not want to lose to Charizard either. So, put it out here in the middle. So, neither one of us want to go to Santa Clara and lose to that, right?
Right.
So, does that mean you're going to play that?
No.
I would not play that either.
I know what I would play.
I would not play that because the same mentality as whenever we see Night March getting a ton of hype.
Mm-hmm.
What does everyone do? They play Toad, they play Pokemon Ranger, they play Oricorio, they play the
they throw in the
Karen, and it just has this massive target on its back, and it just crumbles, right? For the most part.
Yep.
So, does it or does it not have the biggest target on its back?
I think it has the biggest target.
Is that going to stop people from playing it? Because we saw this 3 months ago have the biggest target on its back, and people still played it left and right, right?
Right.
So, just because it has a target on its back does not mean people are going to not play. So, what's interesting, let me move this out of the way. Let's talk a little bit about this. Far and away, we knew, everybody and their grandma knew that it was going to be the most popular 3 months ago, right?
Right.
What deck had the most success against it? He ultimately lost in the final.
Zoroark like rock.
Stefan Ivanov took the Zoroark, Cario, and absolutely just destroyed it, right?
Right.
So, now that we know that, what would you play, Dancing Bear? 1,000%.
Hey.
1,000%. I am so in agreement with that call right there. Like, confidence is like super high. And I'm not even talking straight Zoroark Gyarados. It could be Zoroark with the Oranguru Gyarados. Just any Zoroark Gyarados variant. I am 100% on board with, right?
Yep.
My second choice, Zoroark. You got the great matchup against Zekrom. You got the okay matchup against Charizard. But it's clearly my distant second choice. Do you have something different than that?
Maybe a Zapdos variant. I think that would be something I could see myself play.
So we'll share that, and then I'll put this
Zapdos right there.
And then this is the Dancing Bear's third list. And where's the other Zapdos? Or
we can just do that one.
That's fine. Y'all get it. Zapdos variants. So I'm going to throw another one in that I would kind of, kind of go back and forth between Zoroark or this. And that would actually be that.
That's what I was thinking.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're on the same page.
It was.
And I would do one more, or possibly, I think there's a slight gap. And that would be these two. How do you feel about that?
All right. I'm not taking Granbull. That's a little bit too much work for me. But I
agree.
I was thinking the Hitmonchan too.
I agree with the Granbull, and I would have to practice so many games to get confident and good with it, but I don't hate it as a play.
If you're confident in a Granbull deck, then
if you're comfortable with Granbull, then absolutely take it, and I think you're going to see success. Absolutely right.
It did really good in the Japan tournaments.
So looking around, do you see anything else? We're not. Don't think about the Zapdos. So where does that leave Zekrom?
I'm not playing that.
I don't.
What you mean?
So you don't like it as an option to play?
I think it gets hard countered by the Reshiram and all that. And so I wouldn't play it.
Yeah, these two, I mean, it's not even a match, right? Charizard absolutely wipes its butt with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it can't one-shot the Reshirams. It has to two-shot.
Yeah. So, I totally agree with what we have here. Most popular, BDIF, right?
Yes.
Biggest target on its back, right?
Big one.
I'm already comfortable with the Zoroark Gyarados. I've put many, many games with that. So I am for sure taking this. But these, maybe you're not comfortable with Zoroark decks. Then you go to Blacephalon option, Zapdos option. So if you're not comfortable with Zoroark, then these two are good options. Or even these two.
Yeah. And
so
that's a lot of variety in different types of decks. Different archetypes.
Now, I will say, I like Hitmonchan over the Zapdos. I know you had that as your kind of second pick, but you don't really like Zoroark, right?
I like Zoroark. What you mean?
So, for me, I would have it like that.
That's fair enough.
For me. But I can definitely see your point of having Zapdos there. But for sure the Gyarados, right? Without a doubt. If you're going to Santa Clara What are you playing?
Gyarados.
I am too. I am too, folks.
Right.
Until I see evidence, looking back at the Japan Charizard, there was how many in day 2? They had like 68 day 2, and I think there was like 35 to 40 of them that were Charizard. Something ridiculous like that. Like 70% of day 2 decks were Charizard.
It was crazy.
So, I absolutely Gyarados. And it doesn't have bad matchups against the rest of the field, is the thing. Because you can play the control aspect and kind of counter hard the other Zoroark decks.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. You got anything else, Dan Spare?
No.
Well, hopefully we covered everything. Try to get as much information out there. Did we miss a deck here and there? I'm certain we did, because there's just so many that are options. We're doing our best here. And if you're going to Santa Clara, best of luck to you. You need to be ready to beat Charizard, and you need to be ready to beat Zoroark, Zekrom Pikachu, excuse me. So,
yep.
And that's where Hitmonchan could come into play, because I do like the matchup against Zekrom, and if they don't play the Baby Volcanion, I like that matchup too, right?
I agree.
So that's it. I don't have anything else. I'm done talking. I'm done rambling. If you're going to Santa Clara, play Zoroark Gyarados, right?
Indeed.
If you want to win, Zoroark Gyarados, right?
Indeed.
Okay. Till next time, be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.